The focus remains on NBFCs, though they have been in favor. The rally in sovereign bonds has resulted in treasury gains for some of them. Let's discuss the business outlook of one of those companies, Cholamandalam. Vellayan Subbiah, the managing director at Cholamandalam, joins me on the phone line. Mr. Subbiah, thank you for taking the time to speak to us on Lunch Money today. Just want to understand from you, first up, the falling yield for the 10-year bonds in the last few months. You've also received a rating upgrade recently. Just your current loan book yields and the cost of funds versus what we saw in the previous quarter.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. Definitely on the cost of funds side, we are beginning to see improvements as we start moving our book more towards debentures, because we are seeing drops in pricing in that segment. So definitely there is a decrease there. And in terms of yields, we're not seeing on the vehicle finance side, we're not seeing any significant drops in that space. Home equity and home loans are seeing a drop on the yield side as well. But the vehicle finance book tends to be a fixed book, so that yield tends to stick for 3 years for us. And we're not seeing too much of a drop in near-term pricing as well.
Fair point. You had a strong disbursement last quarter. I believe it was at a 12-quarter high. How are disbursements looking? We are at the end of Q2, and what's the outlook for the rest of FY17 as well?
So disbursement-wise, as you probably know, Dipanshu, kind of second half always tends to be much bigger in the commercial vehicle segment than the first half, and I think that trend will play out again this year. This quarter, obviously, kind of, we can't give any specific information on the quarterly data, but basically we do see a strong second half, especially next month, October. Everybody anticipates, and I do think it'll be a big month because of the festival season. So definitely we see a fairly strong year on the disbursement front.
And the outlook on net interest margins, they were a little soft in the previous quarter?
So NIMs obviously kind of will benefit from a lower cost of funds. We also think over the year credit losses will be lower than they were obviously last year. So once you start getting into comparable quarters, that will benefit us as well. And like I said, on the vehicle finance book, we've not seen too much of a decline in yields. So all of those three kind of favor the NIM side. So in general, we do think the NIMs will continue to remain strong.
Any concerns around asset quality for you?
So, asset quality on the commercial vehicle side is definitely doing better than it was last year. And I do think that will continue to improve. So, over the next few quarters, we will see an improvement on asset quality in CVs and across the vehicle segment. On LAP, we do continue to see a couple of areas where asset quality has not been as strong as we would like. So we continue to be cautious on that segment, and I think that level of caution will continue for this year.
Right, and just a broader call on the current system liquidity and inflation. Are you expecting a rate cut anytime soon from the RBI?
So our anticipation, and we don't get into kind of when it's actually going to come, but we've said 25 to 50 bips over the next year. But are we expecting anything immediately? I'd say likely no.
Fair point, Mr. Subbiah. We'll leave it at that. But thank you for speaking to us today. That's the management of Cholamandalam for you. The stock is a little soft today, but part of the NBFC pack that has been buzzing in trade lately has in fact become a market participant which is favored by a large number of investors. Let's also talk markets right now. Joining me on the show, Sunil Subramaniam, the CEO at Sundaram